Hello everyone, this is Redact and this game is called Suzerain. We've just been elected the president of Sordland and now we get to make our first decisions, which are going to be excellent ones. Yes, so let's resume and see what's going on. Chapter 1, El Presidente Reign. Okay, I'm not sure what all of these things do. So, economic development, budget, wealth, news. You have 2 unread newspapers. Okay, let's read it. The Whole Sword Post. Presidente Anton Reign has been sworn into duty in a great ceremony in Whole Sword. Thousands have attended the ceremony where the President Reign has met his supporters for the first time after his election. In his inauguration, Reign spoke about change and hope. Yes, make them hope. Bringing focus on reforms. Together we will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. Time of hope. It's a time of change, said the president before he went on to start his first day in the Maroon Palace. Sordland today, President Anton Reign. President has been sworn into office by Chief Justice Orso Hawker after another great win for the USP and Anton Reign, who managed to get 37% of the general vote. Oh yes. First congratulations came from Casaro Gibena of the National Front Party, the runner-up of the general vote. PFJP didn't concede until the last minute despite clear results just hours into the election. Thousands of supporters have gathered in the streets of Whole Sword, chanting campaign slogans, waving flags and displaying USP party banners to display unwavering support for the newly elected president, as they should. Public mood is very positive in the capital from all accounts on the ground. City celebrating that a latched Avender has become president of Sordland. Latchavender? Latchavender, yeah. The new assembly begins duty. The Latchaben Times. President Anton Reign is elected fourth president of Sordland in the 7th Swordish elections. The United Sordland Party has won the election on Sunday with just over 37% of the vote, while Franz Richter, the leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, could gain just over 20%. Oh, I dominated him. Kisaro Kibena, the head of the right-wing National Front Party, is in third place with just over 11. Communist Party of Sordland and Workers' Party of Blue Deer both won just below 10%, failing to pass the 10% election threshold. New term begins with the opposition of the PFJP and then NFP under the USP government. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to remember all of this. The unrepresented votes below the threshold resulted in the USP taking 52% of the seats. Yes. Grand National Assembly. Give them lawmaking power. The new seat numbers have been finalised as follows. USP 130, PFJP and 70, and the NFP 40, and Independents 10. So National Front Party, okay. Communist Party of, I don't know what this one is. What is this one? People's Freedom and Justice Party. Okay. Radical. How many times will the people fall for the same trap? I know, right? The fools. We've seen this before. With Colonel Sol, who supposedly saved this country and brought stability in times of chaos. His stability, however, meant a life of oppression. Any opposing voters were silenced and many were persecuted. Next was Alfonso, who was elected as the Liberal reformer to bring change to USP in Sordland. Seeing his unfortunate inability, his own cabinet resigned. As the Ford USP candidate becomes president, it is time to realise the real change won't come from their party. Oh, there'll be change. You just won't like it. Restructure the infrastructure? Economists. After the recent successful mega infrastructure projects from the United Fontana and Vagsland, the world is warming up to the idea of a source of growth and employment. But is there any truth to this success? Investment analysis indicates that infrastructure investments can be fruitful in the short term, even more so in the long term, especially if they focus on linking economic nodes that business logistics depend on. Yeah, I think that's what they did after the war, wasn't it? No, after the second kerfuffle. I think that's what the Americans did. They did a lot of infrastructure investments. Interest rates would be low. They get their money back. However, this is, however, the first step. The crux of the matter is diversification of investment, where the government supports employment and growth. It is key to help private businesses with government contracts, tax breaks, and political support in order to create a self-sufficient and dynamic economy. No. It'll be my economy. Government's role in Sordland should be to integrate the world economy and reap the benefits of global trade. Economic growth and income inequality in this country won't be fixed otherwise. End solonomics. New era begins for Sordland, and it holds many economic questions that will need to be answered by President Rain. Our top economic analysts, with consultation from the National Business Council, have released a comprehensive report on the performance of the past 20 years. A certain section of the report stands out. Last two 4-year plans of the planned doctrine created a budget deficit and a clear reduction of industry production output. This was specifically due to mismanagement and inefficient bureaucracy. I will fix that. The year-on-year growth, budget balance, and production index values indicate that the two most productive consecutive years have been when the privatization program of Alfonso began in 1949. Our editorial team, with the help of experts, come to the conclusion that the recession was not actually caused by Alfonso's bold privatization program. Oh, they spelled program right. But by the drastic obstructions of state executives hindering the plan. Hindering? President Rain must take the advance of planned economy proponents around him with a pinch of salt, otherwise he could find himself in the same spot of Tarquin Sol in the mid-40s. Okay. What do these do? Anything? Nothing. Alright, well, we've read that. Country overview. Oh, we've got all of these. Active policies. Okay, so I could ban... Okay, so I ban some sort of party. The Blue Dish Freedom Party. According to Article 7782 of the new Constitution, the President may veto a bill by returning it to the Assembly with a written statement. Yes. President impeachable by the court? No, we need to change that. In such cases, the President may be impeached. No, that's not going to happen. Ministers chosen from the Assembly. Election threshold 10%. Presidential decrees. Okay, so I can issue decrees on political, social, and economic issues that would carry the force of law. However, they would not contradict the Constitution and are subject to judicial review. The Assembly may pass legislation to override. Well, I'll just do another decree, won't I? Unlimited terms. Oh, yes. Okay, that's good. Immunity of justices. They're not responsible, but they need to be impeached. Honorary membership gives immunity. A member of honor has absolute immunity and is a permanent member of the Grand National Assembly. They are entitled to a security team and the special private residence provided for free. The only member of honor is Tarquin Sol. Okay, so when they retire, they get this. Or something. Constitutional amendments require Assembly and Supreme Court. At least 150 signatures, 2 votes majority. Simple majority in the Supreme Court. Alright, so I need to get the Supreme Court on my side and I need to bribe my way through the National Assembly and the Supreme Court or something. Okay, economy. I was going to sort out law, wasn't I? Okay, court backlog. Limited women's rights. Well, suffers from extreme sexism both in workplace and at home. The law bans any girls still in natural science. Well, we're missing something. We should change that because they need to contribute as well. The Blue Dish problem. Complicated risk with the millions of bluish people living inside its borders. They don't get the same treatment. Judicial rivalry. Supreme Court and the Ministry of Justice. They're rivals. Okay. Some human rights. Freedom of the press. We need to change that. Okay, economy. Okay, so we're between two different economic systems. Okay, we need to fix that. Military. Okay, Swordless General Staff. Compulsory military service. Okay, this all looks fine. Oh. No, that needs to stop. Military interference. Outdated military equipment. Well, that's fine. Large reservists, poor experienced generals. Okay. Welfare, freedom in the curriculum. You can teach creationism or evolution. Voluntary vaccination. Renan welfare principles. So give welfare services by the Renan aristocracy are being questioned. No, it's not aristocracy, it's aristocracy? Don't know what that is. I'll have to look it up. State security privileges. Enjoy excessive privileges in this society. We may need to change that. Corruption. Widespread corruption. Illegal immigration. Need to fix that. Organized crime. Okay, we need to fix all that. We're neutral. We're an OPEC nation or member. And we're a member of the AN Alliance. Expansionist doctrine of Rumburg in the last century. Who are Rumburg? Oh, I don't know where they are. Lack of allies. Influential OMEC member. Experienced diplomats. Okay, well. Okay, we will fix that, I'm sure. Political overview. Where's my friend? There he is. Vice President. Alright, I'm not going to read all that. I don't care that much about them. Old Guard, the Solis from the old administration. Oligarchs. Powerful elite. The Reformist. They want democratic reforms. Okay, well, we'll sort that out. Alright. Seats, Grand Assembly, Speaker. Alright. I guess we'll have to see what happens. Okay, notes. Don't need notes. I remember everything. Settings. Okay, I guess we click here and then we see. Read the report from Whole Sword logistical issues. Okay. The Mayor of Holston reports that rising population and faster urban expansion has resulted in high levels of congestion in the city traffic. The district report underlines increased traffic and slow transportation routes as the biggest problems of the capital. The Mayor also reported that the absence of a well-designed, large, land-based logistics centre where all transporters come together. One of the greatest problems for domestic transporters, because Whole Sword is a big metropolis. Transporters are scattered all over Whole Sword, having established such in 10 different districts. Okay, so we want to have some sort of thing going on there. That's fine. Read the report from General Staff. General Staff convened right after the election to congratulate our victory. All branches of the Swordish Armed Forces were represented in the meeting. Took place at Camp Strong Arm with massive security measures. Chief of the Armed Forces, Val Ken Kruger, made a public press statement highlighting the increased chances of military confrontation in eastern Makopa, and requested support to strengthen the military. Maybe we will do that. Where is that? Don't even know where it is. I'm sure someone will tell me at some point. What is this? Lack of investment. Oh, I can move around. Okay. Right, that's another... Okay. So those are the enemy. Yeah, so what's this one about then? Lack of investment. Mayor of Avery, Eric Neal, reports a lack of adequate infrastructure around Avery, which seriously undermines the attractiveness of Avery's investment climate. Foreign investors, particularly from Magnolia, are becoming hesitant to invest in the city. Meanwhile, according to data published by the National Business Council, around 90% of companies' total expenditures in Anglan is all by logistic costs, but in peer regions this figure is below 10%. Okay. So we need to improve infrastructure, basically everywhere. Well, we got rail lines, I don't know what they're... Anyway, fine. Briefing on the current political situation. Peter arrived a couple of minutes early and sat across from me. He was struggling to hold back his smile. We did it, Anton. We won, finally. All those years with our noses to the grindstone paid off. Peter's eyes sparkled. The strain of the past months had put a dampener on his usual rakish charm. But today he was looking and acting more like his old self. Loosened his tie and undid the top 2 buttons of his shirt. How dare you! Join the new secretary I picked out for you. Thought you would appreciate her gorgeous set of talents. It's a shame the rest of your staff aren't as easy on the eyes. Gestured to the slight paunch that protruded over his waistband. But hey, back in university, did you ever imagine we would be sitting here in the Marine Palace? We have to celebrate this great victory. Let's celebrate then. I got my hands on something special for us, and Ullery Marine, 30-year-old. We will celebrate at the inaugural ball. Just hang in there until the evening. Not the time to celebrate, Peter. We have work to do. Let's do it later. We've got work to do. Looking forward to it. Evelyn hopes to congratulate you in person there. Good to know it's been some time since I saw her. I'm sure the kids will love to see their Uncle Peter for the first time as the Vice President. Yeah, let's continue. Be nice. He is our best friend. It's great to hear. It's crazy how fast the two have grown up. You're a good father. I am the best father. He had a wistful look in his eyes. He had never been able to have kids of their own. During our campaign, the opposition had floated the rumour that he'd fathered illegitimate children during his wilder years. It had never been substantiated. Ooh. You can use that somehow to blackmail him. Door swung open. Lucien Gallade, my chief strategist, walked in. He was a compact man with sharp bird-like features. After briefly surveying the room wall to wall, he sat down, poured a glass of water and opened his briefcase. A series of quick, graceful movements. You're going to walk into my office, not even knock, sit down without asking, or you're going down the hall, you find yourself somewhere you don't want to be. Gentlemen, the tall case clock in the room struck 3 o'clock. Damn, you're exactly on time. Hello, Peter. Lucien turned towards me. His face slightly bowed his head. Glad to see you, Lucien. Lucien, how are you? Let's not waste any time, Lucien. Proceed with the overview. He seems very Yeah, I'm glad to see you. Good to see you, Lucien. It's a privilege to be here. Yes, it is a privilege. Lucien spoke in soft, clipped tones that immediately drew your attention towards what he had to say. Peter and I waited for him to proceed. Let's start by evaluating our current situation. The majority of the Swordlish people demand change. They're more concerned about the economy than the Constitution, but they blame the system for their problems. People are losing their trust in our democracy. Why do you think radicals like Bernard Circus are becoming more popular? Everyone is expecting us to bring the change the last government did not. Franz Richter, leader of the Reformists, believes that true change can only be accomplished by transferring some of our powers to the Assembly. Nope, not going to happen. I'll move into details of the demands shortly. We need to listen to the people who want to serve this country. We, the Reformists, our responsibility is to democratize our broken system. If we lose power, we won't be able to execute the changes we need to make for the good of our country. Exactly. Yes. It may create issues for us, yes. However, the Reformers are gathering more popularity. We may not be in a position to stand against them. Right, we will find some way to blackmail them, or bribe them, or something. Mr. Richter managed to persuade many members of the Assembly to give their support for drafting a new constitution. Reformist politicians are quickly increasing in number. While the Reformist wing inside our party is still a minority, they could have tripartisan majority in the Assembly, especially if they unite under Franz Richter. Right, we need to do something about this person. People's Freedom and Justice Party. Right, oh. Is he a construction person? Oh, he is. Okay, maybe we can bribe him by saying we give you all this construction contracts if you stop talking about reforms. Yes. We used to be reformers weren't wrong to agree that we need change, but we should be in charge. This director could be a potential ally in our goal to maintain a majority in the assembly. Our party must fall in line with our position. Yeah, we should be in charge. We do need to reform. Can't let the PFJP leaders take the spotlight on this. The reformist demands are clear. They want to limit the president's veto powers, not happening. Ensure that the Supreme Court is independent and take away the court's right to vote on constitutional amendments. No, they should be under my control, but I do agree that only I can change the constitution. Proper balance of power? No. We must listen to their demands, otherwise we are no different from previous administrations. I won't allow them to influence me. We will shape yes, we will. We will shape our own future. I agree, sir. The old guard will do its best to preserve the Constitution. Chief Justice Hawker and his allied judges have a great influence over the Supreme Court, which will be tough to break. We will find ways to break them. The court also has a final say over constitutional legislation. Without their approval, we cannot even change it. Well, we're going to change that. We'll need a comprehensive bill to balance the power structure more fairly. We must break the power of the Supreme Court one way or another. Yes. Yes, too powerful. Only I can be powerful. Only I can make decisions. I agree. They have too much power. They need to take away their vote in constitutional legislation. It is absurd they get to vote for bills and they aren't even elected. Exactly. We cannot allow obstructionists to exist. Yes. Yes. We can figure it out. Our party holds 130 out of 250 seats in the Assembly. We've got the power. However, to reform the Constitution, we must receive 2/3 majority in the Grand National Assembly. 166 votes. And a simple majority in the Supreme Court that equates to 6. Well, I think if we get that guy that works in construction, get him to vote for us, and then we can crush the Supreme Court. After we've settled how to proceed, we need to talk with our party figures. Our first goal must be to get 130 signatures needed to start the process. Okay. Following the green light from the USB, we will reach out to other party leaders to see if they would back our draft. The last step is to convince the justice of the court. Okay. The process will take a long time, but we must start working with a reform committee to evaluate all possibilities for a new constitution as soon as possible. Got it. We will write a more democratic constitution with the reformists. Our new constitution will give the president wide-ranging powers to lead Sordland into the future. Yes, more power. That's very bold. Though we must start with eliminating the Supreme Court's authority over constitutional legislation and perhaps take their immunity away. Exactly, yes. Don't forget the reformists want us to address the loopholes in the presidential veto system. No. I will not limit my veto powers. We need them. Yes. Ultimate power. Peter looked troubled. It will be very difficult to plead the case to the reformists. Well, it's your job, Peter. Do it. Taking away the legislative power of the Supreme Court while holding your own absolute authority over legislation look like an attempt to consolidate your own power? Yes, exactly. We would lose all reformist support. Yeah, I'm sure we can agree on something. According to the initial draft we made with the reformists, there are 2 changes to the Constitution that are not open for their discussion. First, the Supreme Court will no longer hold constitutional amendments. Yes. Second, the President's absolute veto will be taken away. This can be replaced with a limited veto system by fixing the current loopholes. I'd rather not include either of those points. Well, I can change my... Can I change it later? I'll strong arm someone. But I want them to not have constitutional amendments. Okay, let's work with them. Yes, sir. Lucien nodded. We will take a reform committee together with all parties and start reaching out to all the stakeholders in the Assembly and the Court for a new constitution. By later in the year, we should have an idea of the reform contents and what the other parties want. Another important point, we must be aware that the Lutherberg Group, the oligarchs convene under this organisation to influence economic policies. Conrath led it for a long time before falling ill. The new leader is Walter Tusk. According to reports, some members of the National Business Council are in their pockets. Tusk and the group will surely try to bribe us in exchange for special economic protections. I won't be bored, it won't happen. I'll happen to die along with them. Eventually, we need to be diplomatic. We won't let these privileged, greedy, and snobby capitalists run the country. I won't talk to them. Wise approach. Good to understand if we can reach a middle ground. Lucien looked at Peter. As far as I know, Marcel Ferronti has some strong ties to his group. His influence could definitely be an asset for us, but I'm sure he'll want something in return. Who is this guy? He's a businessman. Some advertising company. Okay. Come in handy. Is an important force, one that we should use to administration advantage. Group is dependent on our economic policies. They won't make a finger without us. We need to put them in our pockets, really. Yeah, we should use it to our advantage somehow. Bribe, coerce, strong arm, somehow. If we can get them to side with us, it all depends on what benefits we can offer and what the leadership wants. We check carefully on all sides with all power players to survive our term. I need to underline the seriousness of the situation. Oh, here we go. Military and the general staff are a powerful element in the state, and as history tells us, a dangerous one too. We do have some room to make structural changes by reducing their budget, for example, but it is quite limited. I want to receive the advice of the military before making up my mind. I don't want to die in prison. With the Rumberg threat on the horizon, we can't reduce our defence capability and anger our general staff. The military is nothing but a burden. Yeah, let's get the advice of the military. I'd like to get the military on my side, somehow. Then they won't do a coup. I can get them to arrest all my opposition. Sound to listen to him, but they are very biased and narrow opinions. Patriotism clouds their minds. General Kruger is a spectre of the past. Defense Minister Joseph Lancier is more loyal to us compared to General Kruger. A fact that can change with our actions. Either way, I see a potential rift between the two since they are clearly of different minds. Well, we can fire Joseph then. React strongly against the military. Both these guys will unite against us. I agree with Lucien. We need to tread carefully. Okay. Well, gentlemen, precisely 30 minutes. That concludes our political briefing for today. Our next meeting will be about our media strategy. Talk to you soon. I'll keep in touch. See you both at the next meeting. Lucien and Peter bid their farewells and left. A mysterious amount of smoke was rising far away in the horizon. Now what? Oh, more stuff. Okay. Oh, what's this? What happened? Why is this flashing at me? Reform committee. Okay, so we formed a committee to discuss the possibilities of a new constitution. Okay. We need to do something about the court backlog, though. Don't know how to do that. More news. Okay. Right, we'll be back next time and see how things move on. What's this journal? Okay, what's the journal? Turn 1. We won the election. Clear my intention to work the reformers for the constitution. All right, okay. Fine. Yeah, so this is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will be back next time. We will continue to make excellent decisions to further our own political needs. Yes. So take care, everyone.